Hey, what's going on? I'm BoneSickle, and you happen to be looking at the PlayStation 4 version of Four Kings Casino and Slots, which is completely free to play and includes a wide variety of casino games. This happens to be a game in which X-Wing and myself ended up as the last two people in a six-player poker tournament playing Texas Hold'em. As you can see, I've been trying for a while now to reach my final trophy in Four Kings Casino and Slots, which is for reaching global tier 40, which is supposedly for earning 200,000 lifetime RP. Although not reflected in this video, which was recorded quite a while ago, I'm currently at global tier 37 with almost 160,000 RP. In the process of getting here, I've reached tier 40 in blackjack as well as tier 40 in baccarat, and I've seen my chip count as high as the mid 800,000s, all without ever spending any real life money on the game. Keep in mind that your casino chip count is separate from your poker chip count in a poker game, like you can see here. The problem is that now that I'm actually closing in on my ultimate goal, I've somehow dwindled down to about 120,000 chips. I've grown very accustomed to lounging in the VIP room and playing either blackjack or baccarat for the max bet of 10,000 at a time, which means that in my current state I could go broke doing that in as little as 12 net losses. I'm very uncomfortable with that and fairly unsure of how to proceed. I don't want to have to spend my actual money on the game, and $10 only buys you 150,000 chips as it is. Again, that would only be a safety net of 15 net losses the way I usually play. Of course, I could decrease my bets, which is probably what I'll end up doing, but that also decreases my RP gain proportionately, which just means that it would take longer to earn the same amount of RP. I recently purchased and platinumed Riptide GP2, which is a very low priced game to begin with and was on sale for like $1.50. I found that to be a lot of fun, especially for the price. It's essentially a racing game where you're on jet skis and you do stunts when you jump off of ramps or big waves so you can get boost to go faster. It made me really nostalgic for Wave Racer, which I played the heck out of on the Nintendo 64 probably 20 years ago, although only for the fact that they are both jet ski racing games. Riptide lets you earn cash and XP for each event, which you use to purchase and upgrade new jet skis and unlock new and better stunts. So I really appreciated that sense of progression. I thought the tracks were interesting and had a good deal of variety, and the water physics were pretty good. The platinum was not too challenging and never hit a point where it wasn't fun. I finally decided to check out Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes, which was free for PlayStation Plus a good while back. Now, I played fully through Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3 on the original consoles. And not only did I play Metal Gear Solid 4 on the PS3, but I earned all 40 emblems, including Big Boss obviously, before there were trophies, and then I did it all again after the trophy patch and got the platinum. So I feel like it's safe to call myself a Metal Gear Solid fan and to say that I'm familiar with the way the games play. With that being said, maybe I was more in the mood for something a little more fluid, or maybe my tastes have just changed over the years, but Ground Zeroes had to remind me of just how stiff and snappy the controls are in this franchise. I honestly didn't have a lot of fun with it. It looked really good, graphically and atmospherically, and honestly it felt like what I remember the other games feeling like, but after completing the mission for the first time, I just don't feel compelled to pursue any of the other trophies, and as far as I understand, it's really just the one mission that you replay over and over with just different side objectives such as kill these specific enemies or destroy the AA guns or whatever. I might be wrong about that, and I might change my mind and spend some more time with it, but I guess I ultimately had to realize that I'm not as big of an MGS fan as I once considered myself to be. I've also been really enjoying Boggle, and thanks to X-Wing for taking some time to play the online with me, although I may need to eventually find another person or two to help if I ever hope to finish the trophy for playing 500 games online, since the matchmaking never does anything. That's not saying that the matchmaking is broken, of course, just that there's not enough people trying to play Boggle online at any given time for it to miraculously pair you up with someone. I decided to take a break from Warframe. I still think it's the most amazing free-to-play game that I've ever tried, and I totally applaud the developers for their continued support of the game, but I just got to the point where I'm not that into it anymore. And I mean, over the span of a year and a half, according to my stats in-game, I've spent over 1,270 hours playing. Probably a portion of that time was just having the game loaded but idle, but still, that averages out to about 2 hours a day for more than a year. I had a lot of fun at first trying to get everything in the game, and once I had accomplished that, I had a lot of fun for a while trying to keep up with the updates, but eventually I realized that that's all I was doing. I would wait for a new update, then rush to experience, obtain, and level up all of the new content, and then go back to waiting for the next update. And considering the grindy nature of obtaining and leveling up stuff, it just lost its appeal eventually. Now, to say that I got bored with a game after playing it for 1,200 hours is not to say that the game is boring. I want to make that distinction completely clear. I've seen other people complain that after hundreds of hours they got bored with Warframe or Destiny or The Division or whatever, and I've always felt like that was an ignorant complaint. I don't understand why people expect games to be infinitely entertaining, and I think that being able to enjoy hundreds of hours of gameplay before you've done it all is completely acceptable. Perhaps these expectations come from the promises or insinuations of the developers, and certainly with something like Warframe, where the new content is constantly being added, there is the legitimate chance to continually be presented with something different, even if it is really just a bit more of the same. Either way, I'm not saying that I'm done with Warframe for good. I'm just done with it for now. No Man's Sky recently got delayed 7 weeks to August the 9th, and I'm really looking forward to that game. I've already been coming up with unique, easy to read names for planets and stars and a simple way to name animals and locations, but it's really just the promise of discovering stuff and taking a path that is entirely my own experience that is so compelling. The updates to Payday 2 Crime Wave Edition shouldn't be too far away, and I'm looking forward to getting back into that. Although aside from the new level cap, I'm not sure what will be free as far as the new heists specifically, and I don't know yet if I'd be willing to pay for any of the content. At the very least, I'll probably jump back into it for a bit after the new update finally hits. I'm also hoping that Killing Floor 2 finally hits the PS4 this year. Maybe we'll get some more info at E3, but of course Uncharted 4's co-op should be available sometime this autumn, and that's the really big thing on the horizon, I suppose, between Uncharted 4's co-op and No Man's Sky. I should have had my hands full with the latter part of this year. But yeah, I do enjoy hanging out, playing a little bit of poker, especially if you're playing with a friend and you in a party chat. It can be a lot of fun. So thanks to X-Wing for hanging out and running through a poker game. Thank you for watching the video, and that's it. The end.